never know about how serious comrade them about to be. They are still.
Big up the entire Rhyme Up TV family. You get me? I'm watching Dr. Andre Horn. This is the People's National Party, creating the change that Jamaica desperately needs.
Comrades, it is a good night. Amen. And I thank you very much for being here to support a God-fearing woman, to support a hard-working woman, to support a good cook, Comrade Vivian Brown Bond. Remember me tell you, Counselor par excellence, my sister. There man, in a big up. Just like that. Comrades, we are marching on, you know. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We are marching on to victory. Time come. And time come because we are tired to have a life that is suffering.
Amen.
We are tired that our picnic them can't go to school and get a good meal a day. We are tired that we cannot find a way to make enough money to make our life good. And so, comrades, I want you with me to recognize that we have in Patrick Peterkin, your next member of parliament, and that in the last local government election, if it was a general election, this would be a PNP constituency, because we are ready for the People's National Party in East Rural St. Andrew. We are ready for Comrade Patrick Peterkin in Eastern St. Andrew. So comrades, me now make you fall asleep with me, you know. How we want march on, you know. March we on one more time. I'm not telling you, but we march. One more march. Last march. Right here, so in East Rural St. Andrew, we are marching on to victory in Eastern St. Andrew. Comrades, when we are on up Duke Street, down Duke Street, and me, Peterkin, Julian, Damian, and of course, one Marky G, never two, one Marky G as the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. Victory. Continue, man. Hold on. While we were marching, in marched Comrade Damian Crawford. March, we march.
against this corrupt government. Comrades are moving nicely because guess what? Time is on us. Comrades, they're not gone away now. Some of them tell me so they're there from 2 o'clock. So they might refresh themselves to come back. We're there. We're not gone away. We're there. We're there. Same way. And we're not there for them because I get to understand that people are quaking on their boat in an East Rural St. Andrew. No matter when they're quaking, you better you start pack up because your time come. It can't be Look here, Teddy Knight's voice. Lady, pack your bags and go. Because the PNP is here to do what the people have asked them to do. We're moving down nicely. And we're going to have our next speaker. Let me just first, let me pause to pick up Senator Sophia Fraser-Bliss.
Yeah, my boss.
So if you're with us,
Comrade, the Veen Brown Band is working and working for you. So I want to say thanks to Kentire for electing her. Thank you so much. I want to come back and this field and say thank you for electing Comrade Patrick Peter King. Comrades, there's no doubt that we are going to sweep the Eastern Belt. When I became region chair, I divided the 15 constituencies into belts. And I was deliberate in doing that. And tonight I can report to you that we will be sweeping the Eastern Belt. East Kingston and Port Royal, Central Kingston, Southeast St. Andrew, Eastern St. Andrew will all be in the column of the People's National Party. I'm also saying thanks to our odd working councillors. Please stand and be acknowledged. This is the group that positioned the People's National Party into the pole position where we will win the election. Thank you so much, my colleagues, councillors. Thank you. You can stand too, Madam Chair, because you have also worked in the vineyard. So, my message is a simple message. We have less than 80 days to go. What we need to do now is to continue the work. It's not time to get complacent. It is time to ensure that we look at the gaps, fill out the gaps, and put your candidate in a position that he too will walk up Duke Street. So comrades, tonight it is really about the Veen. And I'm saying you could not have elected a better representative. Thank you, Bedward. Thank you, Kintaya. The word is love. Power to the people always.
and thank you to Regional Chairman, Member of Parliament in waiting, Comrade Dennis Gordon. Comrades, if you see the comrades moving back and forth, some of us have been in Montego Bay, as I said earlier, from morning. And we drove down to Montego Bay and drove back up just to be here with you in Kintaya. So some are tired bad. And some of us are coming from other conferences to be here. So nobody now listen now. They might come talk to you and move on to their other assignment. Comrades, we're coming down nicely as we should. And I want you to understand that we're coming down to the part that you've been waiting for. Our next finance minister advised that he has another engagement. And so we're going to invite Comrade Selector. So we're going to call up somebody. Yeah. I'm going to ask you to invite Comrade none other than Julian Robinson as he comes to bring you not just greetings, but to speak to you here in Kintaya. I see them throwing up, baby, if you're Comrade Julian.
I'm too worried, but I need no more.
Keisha, the chairman of today's meeting. Let me acknowledge Comrade Vivian Stalwart. I had to be here because Vivian has been serving this community for many years. Not in an official capacity, but just as someone who has dedicated her life to the upliftment of others. So it was really a sense of pride for me when Vivian crossed the finish line and got elected as the council for the entire division. Big her up. You remember Parliament in waiting, and East Rural is one of those seats that the People's National Party must win if we are to form government. And in Patrick Peter King, you have a solid young man who has demonstrated through his own life how education is a tool that you can use for upliftment, and he's now using that to give back and to serve others. Comrade Kurt Wall, Comrade Oliver Clough Stalwart, two-term MP and about 7 times as councillor. Charmian from Central Kingston, Pumbos from South. And when I spoke about East Rural, there are other constituencies which we must win, which will enable Comrade Markgolding to become Prime Minister. And on your border is Eastern St. Andrew, and you have Comrade Trisha, who has been working tirelessly to bring back that seat for the People's National Party. The councillors who are here, and I said out at Rockford, the councillors always support each other. From Christina to Patrick to all of them. Well, Pat, you're a farmer. You have Darrington, but farmer always. Comrades, I just want to share with you what your party plans to do to lift the economy, to lift the growth, and to ensure that every Jamaican can enjoy life in Jamaica. Because we are committed to building an economy that will work for not just a few Jamaicans, but for every single Jamaican. So I'm going to go through 5 E's. And you might wonder why I'm starting with education. Because if we don't fix the problems in education, we cannot create an economy which everybody can benefit from. Right now, the private sector complains that they can't find enough people to fill the vacancies. That's what they're saying. They want us to import labor. But the problem lies because we have an education system which turns out so many young people who are illiterate and innumerate, that those opportunities that are there, they can't take advantage of them. And so Jamaica as an economy is stuck in what is termed by the World Bank as the middle income trap. We are low income, so if you look at our per capita GDP in comparison to our peers in the Caribbean, we are at about 7,000 US on average. But if you go to Barbados, in the 20s. If you go to Bahamas, in the 20s. So we are underperforming low-income economy. Our productivity is low, and as such, our growth is low. So on average, Jamaica has only grown 1% per year since independence. And if you look at our growth over the last 10 years since the Labour Party has been in power, it has been no greater than 1%. In COVID, we had a steep decline, and then we had recovery. And what is worse, if you look at the projection for the next 4 years, the projection is only 1% growth. Now, 1% growth can't lift the living standards of the majority of the Jamaican people. So we are committed to ensuring that the data that we heard at Pembroke Hall, and understand, Pembroke Hall is not an isolated example. I want to acknowledge the courage of the principal who spoke truth to power when he really was a cry for help, that 70% of the students in grade 7 couldn't read and write. But Pembroke Hall is really representative of so many other schools in Jamaica. And so we can't ever be comfortable as a country where so many young people are going through basic school, primary school, and they're leaving primary school and can't read them. So what will a PNP government do about that? We recognize that instead of investing in remedial education, when they get to grade 7 or grade 9, we have to put the resources in basic and primary school education so that our children can leave there being able to read, write, and to do some maths. And so it means that we have to review automatic promotion of students from grade to grade. There is no point in sending students forward if they haven't mastered the basics at their grade level. And so we have to put in place programs that those students who are struggling are given the help. And put in place programs mean you're going to have to do some extra summer classes. But we have to train more teachers in literacy, in teaching people how to read and write. We have to ensure that we have more specialists who can diagnose the learning difficulties that some of our children have. Because when we see some of these kids underperforming, it's not because they don't want to perform, but they might be suffering from ADHD, for example, but they are undiagnosed. And as such, a teacher just think they might get trouble because them up and down and all over the place. We are committed to putting the resources in the basic and the primary level so that students can leave primary school being able to read, write, and do some maths. And if they have that foundation, once they get to high school, they can build on it, they can expand, they can bring in the innovation and the creativity, and they can also leave high school with a skill. That is our commitment. That is how we will ensure that not just a few Jamaicans benefit from the growth in our economy, but that every single Jamaican benefits from it. So that is our commitment with the first E. And because we know how transformative education is, and because we recognize that there are many parents who are struggling to send their children to school. If your child misses one day, that's 20% of the education they lose. And we know in some areas, the parents have to choose which day to send one child. So we are saying, for every child in need, we will ensure that you get at least one meal per day. So if the parents don't have the money, send the child to school. And we are also committed to ensuring that if you don't have the bus fare, that we put in place a system that provides that support for you. And we're not just talking about PATH, because PATH is woefully insufficient. The study by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization said that there are 55% of Jamaicans who suffer from moderate to severe food insecurity. What that means is people cannot find the money per day to eat a nutritious meal. We are going to ease the pressure on parents by ensuring that their child in need can come to school, get a hot meal, and that the bus fare is provided for them. But we're going further than that. We are saying in a town like this, where you are adjoining the two largest universities in Jamaica, the University of West Indies and the University of Technology, we are going to implement a program where if you are the first in your family that matriculate, and matriculate might sound like a big word, but you pass your A levels and you qualify to go to university, we as a government will ensure that we cover the cost for every child who is the first in their family to go to university. And we are doing that because we want to break intergenerational poverty. We know the impact that education, and in particular tertiary education, can have on a family. And if one child gets that opportunity, they will lift the rest of their family up. So we are committed to that. We know that there are challenges for those tertiary students who borrow from the Student Loan Bureau. So we are going to do 2 reforms to the Student Loan Bureau. We are going to extend the moratorium period between when you graduate and when you have to start reaping. And we are doing that because we recognize that many students either don't get a job immediately when they leave university, or the job they get is not necessarily the job that they believe is commensurate with their qualifications and their skills. So we're going to extend that moratorium period. And then we are going to tie the repayment to what you earn. So let me give you an example. If the salary that you are earning only allows you to pay $20,000 per month, but your student loan is 30. Right now, if you're paying the 20,000 every month, you're still considered to be in default. Still considered. You pay the 20 now, but it's really 30 you're supposed to pay. We are saying to you, we will take that 20 based on your income level. So if you are employed, you'd have to bring in your salary slip. If you're self-employed, you have to show what you're earning. And the 20 that you are paying every month, we will accept as your payment, and you will not be considered to be in default. Now you might ask, why is that important? Because we are living in an era where there are credit reports and credit scores for everybody. And if you are considered to be in default, it means that you're going to get a poor credit score. So when you leave university and you want to buy your first car or your first house, if you have a poor credit score, it means the bank or the credit union will be reluctant to lend to you. So we're going to make it easier for our young professionals who are going through tertiary education to get a start in life. We're saying on the issue of housing, and there is nothing more important to a Jamaican than owning a piece of their soil. But what we have seen over the last 10 years is an expansion of high-income housing, which is outside the reach of the majority of Jamaicans. Many of those developments in my own constituency, where 2 bedrooms are going for 40 and 50 million. People can't afford that. So we are saying as a government, we will build 10,000 low-income houses a year. We're going to find the lands. The government owns more lands than any entity in Jamaica. We're going to find those lands. We're going to establish partnerships with developers. Our contribution will be to put some infrastructure in place. It might be the water, it might be the sewage, it might be the roads. And we're going to say to developers, you have to build those units at a set price. It might be between 10 and 15 million. So that you can go to the NHT and borrow, and you can buy your first house. But to make it easier for you to buy your first house, we are establishing a young homeowners fund of $1 billion per year, which will allow each qualified young person to get a grant of $500,000 towards that down payment. It's not a loan, this is going to be a grant. Because we recognize that once you can make that down payment, which for many young people is one of the biggest hurdles to home ownership. We know once you get your first house, you're going to build and add to it. And then when you start earning more, you might leave that one and go buy another one. That is how we achieve economic growth. That's how we lift people up. And your government is committed to that. The third area is that Jamaica cannot be competitive either regionally or globally.
don't worry, baby, don't let me lie no more. I'm gonna ride with you, say, together in trouble. Trying to see me the joy. You know you see me, make me feel
all good things must come to a end. Yes. But my comrade brothers and sisters,
Big Belly Sketch is a rhyme of TV. People, God bless you, but don't support it. Big Belly Sky is the workers' champion. That you are good youth and God bless you to support him. Hey, Sky Joe!
My name is Duembo from the World Immortal Store. I don't know. Rhyme Up TV, me I tell you about that TV station. Don't touch on the dial, you understand? World's Town Love, Rhyme Up TV. Horse, angry.
I'm coming to the world Google. Not about Rhyme Up TV. It's a Rhyme Up, one of the real one then. That's why me stand up here and I do this. That's Rhyme Up, I'm real. I'm going to salute him. You hear that? Rhyme Up, pick up yourself, you know. Rhyme Up!
Here from on the news, the rebel girl Daniel here representing Rhyme Up. I love you.
Well, I don't know how I can marvelous to represent for DJ Rhyme Up. Rhyme Up.
First time there ain't no stress, then you don't know it. Sean Paul alongside the Rhyme Up. Tell some boy them time up. You don't know it go. Rhyme Up. Play music. Dirty.
Rhyme Up. I want global Rhyme Up. I real talk it. I am telling you.
Don't talk on this Rhyme Up.